Now, Dr. Manoj Goel, thank you for speaking to me, because with the COVID pandemic that spread, you've clearly been tracking what, it made a lot of concerns, worries for people across India. Now, the first question here would be, what are the identifying symptoms that you're picking up on? Because does it, like the COVID pandemic or the coronavirus spread, hits the respiratory system as well? Or is this different from the coronavirus that's been around us now for 2 years?
Pooja, the thing is, there is no need to panic at all. It is much more different than the COVID or the coronavirus. The infectiousness of this virus is much, much lesser because it doesn't spread by air. The COVID virus would, spread by air. And the main source of, COVID infection, the respiratory droplet infection, and that would happen very small, close contact of a, very small period, say 15 minutes or so. Here, basically, the mode of transmission is basically skin-to-skin contact, close contact. Respiratory droplets can be one of the measures of, transmitting the disease. But primarily, it is the close contact, skin contact, contact with these, infected secretions of the patient, or if there is, face-to-face contact for maybe a few hours, 2 to 3 hours, not 15 minutes, which could be the things. So, I think it's definitely not as serious issue as
then tell our viewers watching this right now, are the identifying symptoms that if you're feeling any of this, or if your body is beginning to show any of these symptoms, it's important to immediately contact the nearest doctor?
So first thing is that, we have to understand that India is not the endemic country for monkeypox. It is the African countries which have been the endemic for monkeypox since 1970s or so. So international travel within 21 days is very important. So somebody who has traveled within 21 days from abroad and is developing symptoms like fever, headache, body ache, some skin rashes, lymph nodes, the nodules around the neck, then these would be the symptoms where one has to, report to the authorities. So I would suggest international travel within 21 weeks and presenting with fever, headache, even though the patient may not be having any typical skin rashes or lymph node, he must report to the authorities.
Dr. Goel, just to help understand what the symptoms may look like, is this similar to, let's say, someone who's got a chicken pox, the manner in which the skin rashes start to show, or smallpox that has been eradicated though, but can we say that it does sort of look similar if that is happening on your body?
It is different actually, because here the lymph nodes appear. The nodal involvement is very important, one of the characteristic features, apart from the other viral symptoms like fever, headache, body aches. The distribution of the vesicles or the rashes is also a little different. It will start from face and from the legs, and then it will come on to the tummy or other areas. So it can be easily identified. And at this point of time, when the monkeypox is becoming pandemic and is already involved in 75 countries, I think anybody who is coming with skin rashes, with fever, with viral symptoms must be screened and diagnosed for monkeypox.
So now do tell us, doctors, about specific precautions that we can take. And are these precautions against monkeypox similar to that against coronavirus? Because usually we had a certain layout of the precautions we need to follow. Do we think it is similar to that? If you can update our viewers watching right now about precautions that they need to take, must take against the monkeypox spread.
Largely similar, and I would agree with that. But apart from that, this would include, avoiding contact with the patient, wearing protective, personal protective equipment while, visiting this patient, particularly healthcare workers. They should avoid, skin-to-skin contact, any intimate contact, particularly if the patient has, history of travel within 2 to 3 weeks and is showing symptoms. And the handling of the secretions should be done very, very carefully by the healthcare workers. One should not come in, contact with those infected material, infected linen. And if, of course, it is again, as I said, not endemic in our country, but if some animal like, meat handlers, they must be very careful, of course, while handling, if it is suspected to be an infected animal.